This documentary was conducted spring of 2013 for the University of Tampa Social Stratification course. The purpose was to investigate the economic stratification among migrant tomato workers in the state of Florida. Her journey began March 17th in Lakeland, Florida, at the March for Rights, Respect, and Fair Foods.
The projects that we're working on is to be able to document the lives of how they live, how they work, what their lives are like, and you know, the broad scope of it is to, I guess, compare. You have a
people are walking on
CEO of Publix and his life versus the life of the farmer.
That's very interesting, especially when they're in such denial. I mean, they really are in denial of what they can do to promote humane treatment of our farm workers.
I'm at the intersection of Big Bend and 41, watching the tomato pickers. Not necessarily pick the tomatoes because I can't see from this far back, but I can see when they have picked up enough tomatoes to fill a bucket, they then carry the bucket up to the truck for dumping. On the truck appear to be 2 crew leaders, one for each side of the truck, and then a third person who is the truck driver. I've seen him move the truck at least once. I've been here observing for the last 45 minutes or so. It appears someone may walk up to, or one of the tomato pickers will walk up to the truck maybe every 3 to 8 minutes. In the meantime, it seems the crew leaders and the truck driver just socialize up top of the truck. Every now and then one of the crew leaders has had to get down for whatever reason, I don't know. But we can see occasionally, and right now you can see in the background, and one of the tomato pickers walking up to the truck. They dump the bucket and throw back the bucket to the tomato picker, who then goes back into the field to find another area to pick. It seems that there is no systematic way in where they start and stop each time. Majority of the farms here, in fact, all that I've researched, all piecemeal, so they pay their employees by the number of buckets that they produce, and the average is 50 cents per bucket. There's a number of cars parked along here, although there's only about, I don't know, I'd say less than 10 employees or tomato pickers out there right at the moment. They do have access to porta potties out there. And currently it is 87 degrees on a sunny, partly cloudy day. Okay, this bus just pulled out of Damari, a grower packaging plant, and this bus parked in front of the Sweet Bay. It is about 1 o'clock, 1:10, so they must be on a lunch break, I'm not sure. But it shows where the farm workers gather, they park, and they load on a bus to go into the field. We are driving through a neighborhood that is just south of Ruskin. We followed a car with migrant workers that got off a bus after working, we assume, at the Damari tomato plant. There we go. So we're at Artesian Farms, and this is Clayton, and he has been working here for 44 years, and he's just telling me about how farming has changed over the last 44 years. So can you reiterate what you just said?
Well, you know, it's just different prices, different ways that you grow them, different chemicals you're allowed to use nowadays that you couldn't use a long time ago. And I don't know, it's just sometimes it's harder. It's different. You know, it's hard to get a good price after you grow a good crop. That's one of the main things.
Okay. And once you harvest the tomatoes here, where do they go?
They go to tomatoes are rusting.
And then they're packed there, and what happens to them from there?
Packed, and you know, they sell them out, you know, to the wholesaler, and they distribute them out to, you know, the grocery stores, restaurants, wherever, you know, they ship them up to.
Okay. So I understand that Publix is only willing to pay an average of 20 cents a pound for the tomatoes, but yet you see them in the store for $4 a pound. How can they justify that profit?
Well, sometimes we get, you know, $12, $14, $15 a box. Depends on how many tomatoes are available. That's what does the price on how many tomatoes you have. You know, if it's a shortage, you get a price. If it's not, you over demand. You know, too much supply, no demand, and you know, get a cheap price.
Now the workers, they get a standard rate of pay for regardless of what happens once the tomatoes are harvested.
When we harvest, they work by piece work. They get paid so much every bucket that they harvest.
And do you know just a little bit about their livelihood, of how they live to survive?
Well, some of them make good money. You know, you work hard. They work hard for their money. I'll give them credit. But they do make pretty good money by piece work.
About how much do they make? Do you know?
Some of them make $80, $90, $100 a day. And some of them could actually make more. You know, it all depends. You know?
I've also read in regards to the competition of what's causing an oversupply of tomatoes in the U.S. is coming from.
Yeah, Mexico was a big cause.
Mexico.
Yeah, they're kind of flooding the market a lot. So, you know, and they grow them cheaper over there. Use any kind of pesticides or anything they want to. Well, I don't believe there's any kind of regulation on them over there.
Right.
I'm not sure for that. I'm not going to guarantee that, but they seem to do what they want to do.
Are you familiar with the Coalition of Immokalee Workers?
Yeah.
And their fight to get a penny per pound more for tomatoes. Do you think they'll ever achieve that? Achieve a fair food standards? I know Artesian Farms is a fair food, part of the fair food program, but what's it going to take for other suppliers and the buyers to be able to agree to paying that extra penny per pound?
I really don't want to answer that.
Okay. No worries. All right. All right, and can you tell me your name?
Ramiro Guerra, senior.
And senior. And how long have you been here?
I've been here 10 or 12 years.
Wow. And what is it that you do?
Crew leader.
Crew leader. And what does that entail?
You mean what kind of work?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, tell the people what they're gonna do, and you know, mark the hours and mark the names and language of the rows, and I mean, that's what it's.
You've been here long enough to see some of the changes that have gone on with the farm. What do you think about the changes that have occurred?
Pretty good. I mean,
Good.
I like it. I mean,
Good for the employees.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And when you're in harvesting, what are their hours like?
Well, we start, you know, if it's what the vine is wet, sometimes we start 10 o'clock. Sometimes, you know, we start 9:30. Depends.
Okay.
And we go sometimes we go to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Okay.
It depends, what, how many bins, like
How
I
many
say,
bins?
Yeah.
So they're not having to look for work every day.
No, it's like I say, they come here, they grow up these tomatoes, and they stay here to work.
The same ones come back every year?
Well,
Or is it vary?
we got a little changes once in a while, not all the time, but mostly we got the same.
Can you tell me your name?
¿Tu nombre?
Luz Cordero.
All right. And how long have you worked here?
¿Qué tiempo has trabajado aquí? Que te acuerdes?
Como 18 años.
18 years?
18 years, wow. And what do you typically do here?
¿Qué es lo que haces aquí, el trabajo que haces?
A plantar, destallar, amarrar, cortar
labor.
tomate.
Labor?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this something that you enjoy doing?
¿Te gusta hacerlo? ¿Te gusta trabajar? ¿Te gusta hacer el trabajo?
If you were to have your dream job, what would it be?
Si acaso te gustaría trabajar un trabajo mejor que este, ¿qué es lo que te gustaría?
En la sombra.
Stay home.
Stay at home. And where do you live around here?
Aquí vives cerca, aquí vives en ¿dónde vives?
En Rosky.
Ruskin.
In Ruskin.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you stay here year round and you work here?
Aquí te quedas todo el año
Sí.
trabajando.
And do you have family? Do you have children?
Yes.
And what do they go to school here?
Sí, vas a la escuela.
They do. And do they are they old enough to go to school, or are they in daycare?
Sí, ¿todos van a la escuela grande o van? Ni uno va al daycare, ¿no?
No, todos van a escuela.
Go to school.
They go to school. How do they like it here?
¿Qué les gusta aquí?
Sí.
Yeah.
They like it. Okay.
Yeah, they like it.
And what's it like to work here on a day-to-day? Hot, sunny?
¿Cómo te gusta el tiempo? Como está ahorita de caliente, ¿cómo te gusta?
Frío.
Frío?
Better cold than it is hot.
Oh, very cold.
No, it is. He likes the good weather hot than it is, cold and it is hot.
Have you ever been injured doing this job?
¿Nunca te has golpeado en el trabajo?
No.
No. And what do you think about conditions as they've changed over the years?
¿Cómo te ha gustado la cambiada del trabajo? Que ha cambiado la hora y ha cambiado cosas que está mejor para ti o cómo piensas tú?
Es igual.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. Okay. And what is your daily schedule like? When do you start working?
¿Qué es el tiempo que comienzas a trabajar en la mañana?
En la mañana empezamos en febrero.
No digo en la mañana, ¿qué tiempo?
A las... depende.
It depends the fog in the morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Depends, the weather.
All right. Well, great. Thank you so much. Okay, I am at the Sweet Bay grocery store, the same one where the farm workers park outside, just to check out the prices of tomatoes and where those tomatoes are coming from. These tomatoes here are coming from Guatemala, if you can see that. At $3.29 a pound.
As we concluded our research project, we came to the conclusion that there are 3 tiers to social stratification among Florida tomato farming industry. The 3 tiers include the tomato farm owners, crew managers, and migrant workers. Each group had significantly different perspectives regarding migrant worker environment. The tomato farm owner acknowledges that there have been changes within the industry, but was resistant to specifically address the conditions affecting the environment for migrant workers. On the other hand, the migrant workers did not recognize any day-to-day changes. Through our initial hypothesis, we believed that there was extreme hardship and suffering for migrant workers, but through our observation, this did not seem to be the case.